Well, answers are still not exactly clear, but it is at least a little bit more clear now that Dark Ziggy is not an alternate Ziggy or even the true Ziggy that was always there. No, it is something else entirely, something that took over Light Ziggy. That actually does make sense from the earliest chapter and on TV tropes that suggested that Ziggy was possessed because they said when Elsie visited Ziggy's dead body, she detected a dark ether that wasn't Ziggy's. At this point, we all assumed it was, well, Ziggy's true self. But now, as usual, though, it's no answer. I'm a little bit surprised about that. It just feels like Hiroshima is never really the guy that rarely gives vague answers. Then again, the vague answers he has gotten has always been a little bit of a disappointment. But it's me, the Angry Anime fan, and this is Eden Zero, Chapter 210. First off, a cute cover page. A happy smiling Hermita with the victory sign. Light Ziggy is temporarily activated and begs Shiki to kill him. As Shiki wonders how is this possible, Light Ziggy mentions that we cannot answer all of them because Dark Ziggy is asleep but soon will awaken. Of course, though, Shiki cannot just be satisfied with all of that, and neither can we. He asks, how did you turn into that guy? Realizing that not having any answers at all would just leave it more confusing, Light Ziggy reveals that Dark Ziggy is not exactly another personality. It is merely that he has been taken over. And he then reveals a little bit more about the truth that Dark Ziggy talked about. That is sort of the truth. Dark Ziggy mentioned that he had lost his memories. Then when he woke up, he was building an amusement park and all that stuff. In a way, this is exactly what Light Ziggy says. Because he says he had none memories of my past life, including when he was Shiki. He don't even remember coming here from 2,000 years in the future. He only remembered that once the entity or whatever took over him. 20,000 years ago, he sent out with the Eden Zero and left planet Eden on a quest to find Universe Zero. But he was then attacked by the chronophage, who likely reacted to the Ethereum inside the Eden Zero. The chronophage began to consume the Eden Zero, but strangely enough, it didn't rewrite time, or I mean steal time, or at least implied that Ziggy made the jump as soon as the chronophage was about to be devouring him. Because, but by doing that, however, it caused the coordinations to fail, causing Ziggy to never land in Universe Zero. Instead, he landed in Universe 1. But the chronophage had done its work. He had lost his memories, and the only thing he remembered was his name. He didn't even realize he once was a human underneath that. So he had landed on an unfamiliar planet, and Eden Zero took heavy damage. But when it made destructive sounds, it made a familiar sound like ringing of large bells. So he named that planet Granbell after the sound. He repaired the ship and somehow also began to build robots. But he could never find any data on his mission and even what he was. Before long, the town of Granbell became an amusement park where visitors were always coming in, at least at the beginning. Then he heard about Mother from a guest. Thinking that Mother could restore his lost memories, he set out, and that was the first journey that Ziggy made. And also the same journey on when he later would find Xenolith and then would relearn the power of Satan's gravity. But later on, however, he would also build the 4-star shrine maidens, or at least what we now realize. And he then found Shiki. But he cannot tell Shiki where he came from, nor do Pino know, because Shiki must find out by himself. He died. Ziggy then died, or at least that's what his father was. And he was taken over, and his body came back to life. And his previous memories, the life of Shiki, the claim that he came from 2000 years ago, all those things were told to him by the dark entity, but he could never really remember them. The only thing he did remember was the time he spent with Shiki. But he does say that he is not Shiki. He is Shiki, but he is not the Shiki right now. His personality is his own, and I still think of him as his grandson. But he then reveals the biggest surprise of all, is the fact that the real enemy that took over him, the real evil that must be stopped, is actually right here in Leonard. So, who is here on Leonard? Happy, Rebecca, Sister, Clown, Justice, Elsie, Wise, Aknoela, Laguna, Hermito, sorry, my mind went Homera, Klein, Moscow, Jin, Labelia, Couchpo, Saint Knoxfire, Connor, Justice, Holy, and Feather. They are on Leonard, as we know, and is one of them the true evil. But Shiki cannot say the true evil because he realizes that his word is blocking, and he has begun to use up more time. He says he will try to suppress his lower level, and then begs Shiki to end him with the black sky, as he then finally sheds tears, because he says that Shiki must destroy him, because if he doesn't, he will only be used as a pawn. It's during this time, though, that we learn that Hermito has been listening again, and begin to wonder, does anything have to do with the Shining Star memories being erased? And when did he make Pino? It's during this time, though, that Hermito actually get a flash of light and realizes, no wait, if Ziggy says it's true, there's one thing that doesn't make sense. But it can't be, is the true enemy. And of course, the chapter ends, though, when Elsie returns to her crew, finding the dead Flamebringer, the dead Icebringer, and even finds that cowardly scum that killed, Jesse, the cowardly scum Jesse that killed that Shogun guy on the floor. Their eyes wide open and they're all dead. A gun is there and a bracelet is destroyed, as we suddenly see Elsie's shocking face, still in her, being redressed. Still not having so much clothes on. So who is the true enemy? Did the true enemy kill them right here? Or is there someone else there? Well, that's basically the chapter. Again, no answer is made clear here. But now the biggest fear comes. There is a true enemy. It's pretty satisfying to know that Ziggy was never evil to begin with, and it was a dark possessions. Although it still doesn't make sense on how did he create the Dark Stars, where did the Dark Stars come from, and why has Dark Ziggy always said that he is the real one? There is so many things about this that does not make sense. But that's the problem with Time Thing and being possessed. Some things do not make sense. But it may be very possible that this true enemy is still connected to Ziggy, and that this true enemy desire to wipe up humanity may actually be something, and decides to use Ziggy for that, because Ziggy is a powerful tool, or maybe because of all this time reference or something like that. I'm not sure what the plan of the true enemy is, but Hermito seems to have realized who this true enemy is. And why does this chapter end with Elsie looking shocked? Was it to see her crew that we barely saw any personality from being slaughtered? Who slaughtered them? Did Jesse slaughter them somehow? Well, at least he's dead, so that's fine. But please let it be that no one in Eden Zero is the true enemy. Please. Especially not Sister. Oh, well, I don't really care about Sister, but seeing that she attempts to heal Saint Noxfire, I'm just saying she would have the perfect opportunity to destroy everything. So yeah, who is the true enemy? I have no freaking idea. But I think Shiki cannot kill Ziggy, knowing now that his grandpa is still there. So it's very likely that this true enemy will still use Dark Ziggy as the pawn. Give me your false if you have any.